Today I'm going to show you how to do some bullion knots, which are little wraps that sit on top of the fabric, just like this one here. So secure your thread however you like. In this instance here I've used the waist knot method, which is a knot on top followed by 2 little holding stitches. Come to the front, the beginning where you want your bullion to be. Go to the back, and that distance there between those two is the length of your bullion knot. Now don't pull the thread all the way to the back. Holding it on the top, come to the front again through that same hole that you initially came up through. But don't split the thread. It's really important to make sure you don't split the thread in that instance. Now you're using your thread which is on top and the one which is closest to your needle, you wrap. The number of wraps you use is going to be dictated by how long your bullion is. And the way you can check is to lay your needle onto the fabric and see does it cover the distance. I tend to always use an extra couple because it just gives slightly plumper bullion knots. Once you're happy with this, the tricky bit happens. So holding your wraps around your needle with one hand, and I'm right-handed, so that's my left hand. Pull the thread which is now sitting on top, the excess thread, through to the back. Now pull through your needle. Now this sometimes can be quite difficult and you do need to give it quite a tug at times to get it through. I'm using a chenille needle, but to make it a little bit easier you can use a straw or a milliner's needle, which is the shaft of the whole needle is a little bit more even in length and diameter around it. Once you've tugged that through, pulled it through, the moment of truth, have a look at it. At this point in time it can look like a complete disaster, but don't worry, it's not time to get the scissors out just yet. So pulling and tugging and moving those wraps into position, you can actually get quite a good looking little bullion knot without too much effort. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad. So place your finger on top, pull it through until it's nice and secure, and that's not too bad. Once you're happy, go back through that same hole that you went down initially. There you go, completed bullion knot. Do one more for you. Come to the front, go down the distance that you want your bullion to be. Then come up through that same hole again, being careful not to split that thread, and then wrap, wrap and wrap and wrap. The distance that you need it to cover, so a few more. And a couple more again. Okay, that looks good. Hold those wraps in place. Pull that thread gently through to the back. Now, as gently as possible, but it does require a bit of a tug. Pull this needle through to the front while still holding those wraps in place as much as possible. It's quite difficult, this one. There we go. Now again, complete mess, but don't despair just yet. Pull the thread all the way through. Sometimes that in itself will fix a lot of your problems. And then just with your fingernail, gently pop those into position. There we go. Go through to the back. It'd be helpful if I got it in the right spot. And there we go, completed little bullion knots.